So the question I am going to be answering today is about how to reposition a baby that's posterior. This is also called a baby being in the OP position. This isn't necessarily how to shift a breech baby, a baby that's still head up. While these different suggestions that I'll go through can potentially help with a breech baby, I'm going to make another video about that. I also have a guided meditation that can help with that flip. But today, again, we're going to be talking about posterior babies. So what does this mean? Essentially, a posterior baby is a baby whose the back of their head is facing mom's butt or her posterior. And so it's also called sunny side up because as they're coming out of your pelvis, their nose is facing up and it can create some issues. To put it mildly, it can make labor harder. It can create more back pain. You can absolutely still have a vaginal birth if you have a sunny side up baby, but it's tricky. So we're going to talk about how to hopefully get baby into the anterior position before he or she is born. With that said, don't get stressed out if you don't get baby to turn before you go into labor. I have seen babies turn as the mom is going through the birth process. So all is not lost if you can't get it done right now. Okay, so one of the first ways to help baby to turn is to get into what's called the polar bear position. And here is an image of the polar bear position, and you see that mom's butt is sticking way up into the air. She's laying down. I recommend doing this definitely on a soft surface so this is comfortable. You can definitely do deep breathing in this position. I recommend listening to maybe a relaxation recording. Of course, if you start to have any discomfort or pain in this position, transition out of it. But the thought process behind getting into the polar bear position is that baby's head is able to slide a bit out of the pelvic region so they have a little bit more room to shift. And babies are really intuitive and they usually instinctively know which way they need to shift. And they want to get into that ideal position for birth. So getting into the polar bear position can give them the space, the room they need to make that shift. Another thing can be crawling around. I know that sounds weird, but channel your inner toddler and crawl around for about 10 minutes or so. This achieves a similar effect as the polar bear position, just giving baby space to move around and reposition. You can also couple the crawling around with doing some baby proofing. One of my biggest tips with baby proofing is crawling around your house, getting on the baby's level and seeing what they can reach, what sockets they can get into. So anyways, you can kill two birds with one stone with crawling around. Another big tip is yoga, something that helps you relax and stay calm. It gets you into that downward dog position that's similar in some ways to the polar bear position. Again, getting your butt up in the air. That gives baby ample room to move around. And just in general, the more relaxed you can be, the easier it's going to be for baby to turn. Because if you're really tense and really stressed out all the time, baby's environment is going to be a little bit tighter and more cramped because you're tight. So deep breathing, maybe taking a warm bath, listening to, a guided meditation every night, and just envisioning baby getting into that ideal position where the back of their head is facing the front of your body and their nose is facing your butt instead of the back of their head facing your butt. That's what you want to envision. Another fun way that you can potentially get baby to shift into that anterior position is to play a little game with the baby. So you can get a cold, say, cup of ice water, and if say like some babies, instead of having their nose like directly towards the front of mom's body, it's like a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left. So say, for example, that baby's already positioned a little bit towards the right side of your body. You can hold that cold glass of water or ice pack or whatever on the right side of your abdomen, and sometimes babies can sense this shift in temperature and they'll go to investigate. And so potentially this could get baby to start to shift to the right of your body, and then hopefully they just keep going all around until they're in that anterior position, the optimal position for birth. So just a little tip that you can toy around with. So if you have any questions about that or any other pregnancy, childbirth, early motherhood related questions, go ahead and email me at the email below and I'll answer your question on this video series.